The ability to name your sections in GarageBand on your iPhone or your iPad is one of the features that is sadly lacking. However, there is a little hack and workaround that I use to give myself some section titles at the top of my track. So in this video, I'm going to show you how. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete, and this is Studio Live today, where my passion is helping you create, record, and release your best music. And a lot of what I do is in GarageBand, but one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do we name our sections so that we can organize our arrangements and our projects in GarageBand? And the short answer is that we can't do it. However, what we can do is we can name individual pieces of audio. So what I'm going to show you today is how I like to use a drummer track as a placeholder that I can rename and set up some section titles here in GarageBand. Let's jump in and show you now. So here we are in my current project here in GarageBand. Now, if I tap in the little plus button in the top right here, here's all of my song sections. Now, ignore section A, that was my initial scratch section, and section B through to section M are all of my different intros, verses, choruses, and the rest. Now, the ideal solution here would be if we could somehow edit these and actually change the name. I don't know why we don't have this option, but the ability to just name section A as intro, section B as verse, section C as chorus, etc. would solve this problem. However, here in GarageBand iOS, we don't have that. So let's tap out of our section setting and we'll zoom back in here, because what you'll see is this very first track I have here, and I've started doing this in the last few projects that I've been doing. I'm setting up a drummer track at the top here, and then I'm chopping it into sections here, as you can see each section, and what I'm doing is I'm renaming each of these little sections using the audio rename feature here. So I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch, but you can see here it makes it really easy to now arrange my track, because I can move things around and I can really easily see where each of these sections are. So there's my chorus number 2, there's my bridge, there's my chorus number 3, etc. So we've got a really nicely organized and arranged project here ready to go. Now, if you don't use sections and if you just got everything in one big section like I had at the start back here in section A, then I've got another video which I'll link up the top and in the description, which shows you how we can move things from one single section into multiple sections so we can get organized. So once you've done that though, how do you actually do this? Well, what I'm going to do is I'll start a new project from scratch and I'll show you how I would set this up from the start. So here we are in a brand new project here. I'm just going to scroll through until we get to drummer. Now, you can use any other track. I just like the drummer because it basically doubles as a metronome. And I've showed in other videos how we can set up and use the drummer to replace our click track as a metronome. So what I'll do, I'll just tap on acoustic drummers here to bring up an acoustic drummer in our new track. Just waiting a moment there. There we go. So we'll tap to go back to track view. Now, as I mentioned before, you may already have your section set up and you may need to do some editing, but assuming you're starting a new song, let's go in here and just tap the plus button here and we'll just add and we'll create 3 sections here. And for the sake of this example, let's pretend we've got an intro, a verse, and a chorus. What we would now do is we would actually tap on the plus there. We'll go to all sections so that we can see all of these. Now, what I would do is, you can see here, these are named Kyle, Kyle, and Kyle. G'day, Kyle. But what we want to do is we can rename Kyle. So if we tap on this, tap again, and tap rename, we can now jump in here and enter a new name. So we'll tap delete here, and we'll rename Kyle to intro. If I could spell into, maybe not, intro. There we go. And hit done. So then we have intro. We can then come and do the same thing here. Tap, rename, delete Kyle, and now we can type in verse. And yep, you can see what I'm doing here. You rinse and repeat. You do this for all of your sections. We'll come in here, we'll rename, we'll get rid of Kyle, and we'll type in chorus. So why is this useful? Well, it just helps you line up everything else. So if you're recording a vocal part, if you're adding new tracks, if you're adding piano, if you're adding virtual instruments, you can see where you are in the track. And when you're tracking your different instruments and you're recording, you want to find a certain section, you can go there. Now, once you add a bunch of tracks, yes, that track gets hidden. So I'll show you what I mean. We'll go back to my songs and we'll reopen the song I'm working on here at the moment, wasting my time. And load up in a minute. Sorry, it's a fairly large project, so it'll just take a moment to load. And once it's loaded, see here, if we scroll down, well then, yeah, we don't have that because it's only in that first track. So you could duplicate it and put it sort of midway as well as a second copy of it. You can do a bunch of things like that. But for me, it's really good. And again, here, when I was chopping up my guitar here, I could put that into the same sections, and I've used the same sort of labeling there. Makes it very easy to move things around now. If I want to change the order of sections, I can just come into the sections here. And yes, it would be be easier if we just had our names, but this is a bit of a workaround that's going to help, and hopefully it helps you get your projects more organized too. And there you have it. Not a perfect solution, but it does give you the ability to name those sections and to give yourself a little bit of a header up the top there to help arrange and organize your projects. If you'd like to catch some more videos, there's 2 linked right down below. You can subscribe by clicking and tapping on the Studio Live Today icon, and I'll see you on the next video.